Um, Everybody's Jason24 CF with Event Hubs. I'm here with the legendary, he needs no introduction, the man himself, Mr. Justin Wong. Thank you, sir, for the time. How are you? But this has basically been like an amazing year for you. You know, you had King of Chinatown, which was like a documentary of you playing history, and it was an amazing documentary. I saw that CEO, and I mean, that was awesome. Like, I got to know more of who you were, and like the struggles and what you went through. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, like, can you give us an idea what it was like during that time as it was filming?
Well, it was kind of random because Calvin, the director, he just came out of nowhere and says, "Oh, you know, I'm doing a documentary about like just the scene or just Chinatown Fair in general." And then you know, like everyone was telling Calvin about me because I was growing up in Chinatown Fair and I was playing like old school games before Street Fighter 4 came out, and I was always like one of the best, like in Third Strikes, Captain Wrestling 2, and Marvel Capcom 2. So that's like when Street Fighter 4 came out, and then they had the whole GameStop tournament.
Right.
And he just kept like following and filming, just like want to record the progress of like how well I would do, and up to the point where you know like it just gets more mainstream and stuff.
Right.
And you know it turned out very well. I won the GameStop tournament. I got second in EVO that year against Daigo. Like it was really great finals, and it just kept going from there. And then because of that tournament, the Street Fighter 4 tournament, the scene just got so much bigger that's why we're here right now.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that the whole scene has to thank you, because if it wasn't really for your success, it would not really blow up over here.
I don't think so. I feel like regardless, I think Street Fighter 4 did a very good job in representing just like the scene and bringing it. I think it's all because of Capcom's affiliation with GameStop, because over I think 100,000 players entered the GameStop tournament. You know,
right?
Like, and it was filmed on GameStop TV, so anyone that goes in the store to buy a game, like, oh look, it's Street Fighter,
right.
And they talk about EVO, and that's why like the turnout was crazy. Because the year before that, EVO 2008, it was probably only like 400, 500 players. You know, like that's nothing.
Yeah, compared to this year's EVO, which I was there for the first time. I mean, it was like probably like a concert. I mean, it was just jam packed. I mean, the energy from when people were winning. I mean, that was awesome. But I mean, you mentioned Daigo. Like, you two were forever linked. You know, I mean, like your third strike moment. You know, like even Capcom itself trolled you for
the heroes and
yes, exactly. And I was recording it as they introduced it, and as I'm seeing it, Seth turns to me and looks at me and smiles, and you could hear me on my video. I was like, wow, Justin's really gonna like that, you know. But I mean that's awesome. Like, and then also you give a lot back to the community. You have this column on Event Hubs where you basically give, you know, pointers to newcomers like myself and other ones, you know, to go out at events and stuff like that. I mean, you could go more into that?
Basically, like, taking it competitively is a very hard thing to do. And, I think the problem is that people, like, just give up easily. They get discouraged, and they're like, I don't want to play anymore. Right. Type of thing. So, me doing the Event Hub columns is, like, just to give players, like, the understanding that it's not easy, it's not a 1, 2, 3 thing, it takes time. Like, when I first started, I was a mashing scrub. I couldn't do a fireball. I couldn't do anything, but I had to sit down and discipline myself to practice and to understand how to do a motion, how to do a low forward fireball after that, and then from there you just progress. You kind of have to have like baby steps. You can't just have an expectation like, damn, I'm gonna be amazing after a week or two.
Right.
You know, so that's why I always write like this is what I went through. Like the event columns is what I went through to become like one of the best players.
Right. Now, do you feel like they said with Capcom, you know, Street Fighter Tekken, they want to make it more user-friendly. Do you feel that that's a good thing? Like, do you feel it's alienating some of the more experienced players like yourself and allowing these easier? Because I know it's a business move, but at the same time, do you think it takes away from the game?
I definitely think it takes away from the game, but, you know, like, if you're a company and you want to make games that, like, it's basically for the public, because if you think about it, casual gamers is like probably 95%, or even maybe 99%.
Right. Well, that's Modern Warfare 3, basically.
And then the competitive scene is probably like that 1%. Like obviously, I know Capcom it does pay attention because Seth Killian does work at Capcom, and you know he loves the fighting community. He was part of it. Like he was on the USA team back in the day in Super Turbo against Japan, and he understands that like he's just. In my opinion, I think he's trying his best to make sure like it's going to be a good tournament game. Because when I played it at NCR 9, it had really good fundamentals, like old school Street Fighter, which is good.
Okay.
But I could see that if they kept the game like this, a lot of people might not play it, just because it's not very easy to win with. So they had to add some extra stuff, which makes it more user friendly. Like you said, like Pandora mode, Cross Assault, and then now the gems. But no one has seen what the gems has done in action yet or in competitive play. So I think people are just judging it.
Yeah, they're judging it right out the box. I was gonna actually ask you your thoughts about the whole gem, because it seems everybody is just hating on the gems. It's like it takes away from the ability of letting the player dictate the match. It's like, okay, if I get hit a couple times, now I have these gems, and now it just changes the whole balance.
It's basically a comeback factor, and I don't think there's anything wrong with comeback factors. You just have to just play through it, and because I like Street Fighter Cross Tekken when I first played it, but I understand that if this game wants to be successful like Street Fighter 4 or Ultimate vs. Capcom 3, you kind of have to put stuff in the game where it gives the opponent that's not better than you a chance to come back at you.
Right.
And it makes the game more exciting for streams and just for matches in general.
So Capcom is giving the players the ability to have the Wong factor, basically, with the comeback.
Well, it was already in Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 2 with the X Factor.
Right.
But I think that the gems might help the game, but I don't know. Time will tell.
Right. Going forward, what would you say, if your opinion is asked? What could be done to better improve the fighting game community?
Well, in the West Coast, the fighting community over there is really, really strong. There's no factions where people just don't want to play each other.
Wait. East Coast, you heard that? Get together.
Yes.
Stop the hate. All right, go ahead.
Because for example, if you look at Wednesday night fights, their numbers are consistent. Their numbers are on this is a major type of tournament. It's a Wednesday tournament. You expect 20 people or such. But Wednesday night fights have over 50 to 60 people every time, and they're coming on Wednesday, and they know the tournament ends at 3 a.m.
Right.
So that's really good because everyone plays each other. They don't care if you figure me out. If you figure me out, then I'll just come up with better stuff to do. And that's how Japan is amazing, because everyone goes to arcade, they play, and they don't care if I show you my tricks.
Right.
I just want to make more tricks and learn how to get better. But in the East Coast thing, when I was here, I felt there's a lot of factions. There's a lot of people playing over here, over here, over here. Not a lot of people are supporting the next level in New York. Henry's he basically is using his own money to make sure the fighting game scene in New York does not die.
Right.
But people were not supporting it, and I don't know why. When I was in New York for the week, 2 weeks ago, I went to next level every single day just to play, because I like going to play with people, and people showed up, not all the top players. They just want to do their own thing and play with their little circle. But I think that's what they need to do in the East Coast, is just no egos aside, people just sit down and play and get better, and that's how California and even Japan does it.
Right. And that's great stuff right there, because that's usually stuff that goes on in the forums. There's always these, and it's SRK does it. They have polls. Who's better, East Coast, West Coast, and then if you read all the comments, there's always these people just going back and forth. Who's this and who's that? And that's usually the main thing that comes out is in the East Coast, they keep their things to themselves and they try not to help others. And you touched on it, and it's kind of true. It's if you play somebody casually, they don't let you know, and it really doesn't help you grow as a player, because fine, yes, they want to win, but I think, like you said, everybody would just get stronger in general if everyone helped one another. Now, you placed second in what? King of Fighters? Third? Oh, that's right, yeah. I was reading the tweets. And then right now you're what in AE?
I'm top 16 in winners in AE and Marvel.
And Marvel. Yeah, it's no surprise you up there for those. But AE 2012. You read the blog that came out. I mean, things that you're excited about.
I'm really happy about Rufus target combo hit crouching characters.
Okay.
That is going to be a really big boost. But the thing that gets me mad is that the EX Tornado buff is worthless, in my opinion.
Okay.
Just because that the EX Tornado, it puts you in standing, so if it is in a short roundhouse. But what's the point if I can just do short roundhouse on crouching characters regardless?
Right.
But I guess it just makes more common videos for people in the future, which is kind of cool. And I'm kind of excited just because anything with balance changes, not too fast, is kind of good. AE 2012, it wasn't no 2 weeks patch how in the beginning what Mortal Kombat 9 did.
Right.
That was kind of annoying. But since Street Fighter is doing like, okay, you know, we're gonna see how this goes in tournaments, and then we'll just take the information from there, and then, you know, hopefully we can make a patch that benefits the community, and, you know, make sure all the players are happy in the competitive market. That shows that Capcom does care about the competitive scene, because like they're willing to make these type of patches, and it's free. So that kind of helps.
Now, do you think updates like this, for example, I know MVC2 was out for
like 10 years.
10 years. There was no updates to it. You players dictated what happened. Do you think it should be more like that? Or
I think if technology was the way it is now back then, there would have been MVC2 patches, in my opinion. But since MVC2 was from the arcade, and the best version of play on MVC2 was the Dreamcast, there's no way you can really patch that.
Right.
So if MVC2 came out during like Xbox 360 days, I think it would be a totally different game. So because of these patches, it just makes people stay in the game longer.
Okay.
Because like that's why like Marvel's vs. Capcom 3 was dying after Evo. Like it was the numbers were getting lower and lower, and bam, Ultimate came out, and now you have like 220 players. That's like the most that I think NEC had for Marvel 3.
Right.
Because even Marvel 3, it was under like, a little over 200 last year. So Ultimate just like revived the Marvel 3 scene, and Street Fighter 4 is always going to be popular. And because 2012 is coming out, and everyone that plays like the characters that were not that amazing, they're like so much better. Like Jerry, for example, she's like 100 times better. So everyone's gonna be excited about her. And then now people can't complain about the whole Team Hong Kong being overpowered thing. So now, like everyone's gonna be happy about that.
I mean, that's great stuff, Justin. I mean, I wish I could go on, but I know you got things you got to do, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Justin, thank you for your time, and stay tuned for more on Event Hubs and the DMG website.